Hi, welcome to this new episode. If you've ever told yourself things like, I'm not talented enough, or I will never be a great singer, well, that might be your inner critic speaking. And in this episode, I'm going to share to you 4 things that you should stop saying to yourself and what to say instead so that you can build that confidence and sing without any fear in public if that is what you want to. So let's dive into it. Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm the founder of the Singing Insiders, in which I help singers, passionate singers just like yourself, become the best version of themselves through singing. And in these episodes, you're going to get practical tools, insights, techniques, exercises all around singing to really help you up-level your singing skills. So let's look at those 4 things that we as singers, as creatives, as artists should not be saying to ourselves because they bring us down instead of empower us. And we're here to empower you. The first thing is, I will sing in public when I'm singing it perfectly. Or I'm going to sing in public when I feel ready. Like those two are very much related. Now let's define singing in public to start off with. Singing in public, how I define it is that you're letting someone else listen to you sing. Whether that's at home, in the shower while someone else is home, or in the car while you're driving with your best friend, or on an actual stage. Maybe it's singing the solo in the choir. Maybe it's going out with friends at a karaoke party or sing for your friend's birthday or at your sister's wedding. There are so many options to sing in public. But any context where you let yourself be heard when you're singing, that for me is singing in public. And oftentimes the singers that I work with, they tend to say, I will do all of those things once I feel ready or once this song is perfect. And this, by the way, includes also asking for feedback. Many singers that I work with, they tell me, oh yeah, I will ask for feedback on this when I can actually do it right. And that's the backwards way to go about it. Because first of all, how can you expect to become better without feedback? You need to have some feedback in order to move forward. So if you're in a position where you work with someone where you can get feedback, then please share as much as you can. Share your practice session, share a song, share your performance when you did sing in public, even if it was not perfect, so that you know how to move forward with it. Now, instead of saying, I'll sing in public when I'm singing this particular song perfectly, let's talk about the benefits of doing it anyway, even if you're not singing it perfectly. In other words, it's about gaining experience, about learning the lesson. It's about being open and having that mindset of, I'm okay to wanting to grow. How can you expect to improve your skills if you're not putting them into practice? So even singing in public is a skill that you can practice and that you can refine and get better at over time. And oftentimes we're thinking that we need to sing something perfectly before we share it, when really it's by sharing it often that we're learning from the experience that will help us to sing that song how we want it to be and have it sound quote unquote perfect. Does that make sense? So the very fact that you're holding back, or that you might be holding back to sing in public because it's not perfect yet, is the thing that makes it imperfect. Does that make sense? You need to have the experience in order to get better at it. That's the simple reframe. So instead of telling yourself, it's not perfect, I'm not gonna share it, let's switch that to, it's not perfect, I'm gonna share it, and I'm going to focus on what I can learn from this whole experience. That's number 1. Let's move on to number 2 that you shouldn't be telling yourself as a singer, as an artist, as a creative, and that is, it's not good enough yet. Sometimes, oftentimes, singers, they tend to forget the yet at the end of the sentence. And it just is, it's not good enough. Let's talk about this concept of good enough. Oftentimes when I work with singers, they tell me, is this good enough to sing on stage? Or is this good enough for my audition? Or I'm hoping this will get better. What does good enough sound like and feel like for you? That's the question that I ask them. And oftentimes they don't even know how to answer that. They're like, oh, good question. What does good enough sound like for me? How can you expect to work towards a specific results when you don't know what that result looks like or sounds like? That's like setting out to go on a trip without having a destination. So whenever you're catching yourself saying, oh, that's not good enough, or it's not good enough yet, my invitation to you would be to take a step back and pause and ask yourself, what's my end destination here? What does good enough sound like in this particular song? How does my voice sound like when I'm singing that song? What is good enough for me in that situation? And it's an important thing to factor in two things: how it sounds, so your vocal color, your dynamics, your phrasing, your articulation, like how you're hearing the song, and how it feels. And with that, I mean the physical feel. How does it feel for you to sing that song? Do you feel any straining in your voice? Do you feel any tension in the voice? Or does it feel very free and unlimited and fluent? Like, how does it feel when you're singing that? And then, what does good enough sound and feel like? Is it good enough for me to sing on pitch in order to sing that on stage? Or does it have to be on pitch with a smooth transition from chest voice to mixed voice in that section of the song? Like, do you see how specific that is? So we need to know what the end result or the end outcome is for you within your singing practice so that you can actually move forward and do something with it. Otherwise, this excuse of it's not good enough will quickly escalate into an excuse that many of us have used or will use in order to not do something. For example, it's not good enough, so I will not audition, or it's not good enough, so I will not join that choir solo thing, or it's not good enough, so I'm not gonna sing on stage, whatever it might be, right? And that's, again, limiting ourselves. We don't want to be limiting ourselves because that's not where we're feeling the most empowered. That's not where we're finding happiness, right? We want to empower ourselves. We want to create opportunities for ourselves so that we're feeling empowered and moving forward in this whole singing journey. So that was number 2. We had number 1, I'll sing this in public when I'm singing it perfectly. Number 2 is it's not good enough. Instead, let's define what does good enough look like. Okay? Now, if this was very valuable for you so far, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel so that you're keeping on being updated on new episodes when they do come out, episodes like this one, so that you're the first one notified when they appear. Now, there's 2 more that we need to cover. 2 more mindset shifts that we can make in order to be more empowered when we're singing and tap into that confidence. The third one is all about progress. And one thing I've heard myself say to myself, or that was my inner critic whispering this to me, and I hear a lot of other singers whispering that to themselves. And that's this idea of, I'm not making any progress. Is that actually true? I'm not making any progress. So here too, we can go back to defining, well, what does progress look like for you? What is progress? And really, what this idea or this mindset might come from is because as singers, we're continuously improving ourselves, right? So we're working on techniques like singing on pitch, developing mixed voice, breath support, maybe larynx position, vocal colors, all those things. And the more we work on those things, the more we move forward in our journey, what sometimes could happen is that you find yourself singing a song and then you're struggling with singing on pitch again, for example. So an example could be that you're learning a specific skill, like developing your internal hearing to sing on pitch, and you feel like, oh, I'm making progress. I'm starting to understand how my internal hearing works. I'm starting to sing on pitch more accurately, and that seems to be going in the right direction, right? Then you're singing a song and you want to apply the technique that you've learned, in this case, or in this example, the internal hearing exercise. And then suddenly it seems like you're back at square one for this particular song. And that is when this thought might come up of, you see, I'm not making any progress. And this is where I love to introduce the upward spiral. Because yes, it might seem sometimes as if we're going in circles. Oh, here it is again. Here's my pitch issue again. Or 2 years later, oh, here it is again. Here's my mixed voice issue again. Right? So it seems like you're just going around in circles because yes, you're making progress, but then you're struggling with the same thing again. So you're taking a step back, right? And that's where this whole idea come from of I'm not making any progress. When in reality, it's not a circle. It's an upward spiral. With that, I mean, yes, you might struggle again with pitch or with mixed voice or with your voice color, whatever it might be, but you're not at the same level as you were 3 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever it might be. So what do we learn from that? We learn that you're finding this issue on a higher level. Maybe you've chosen a song that challenges you even more than before. So then, yes, the pitch issue comes back up, but it's on a different level. Does that make sense? So it's not a flat circle. It's an upward spiral. And the themes might come back, but you're finding your way around those themes depending on certain levels of singing that you're at. So instead of thinking, I'm not making any progress, let's think about that upward spiral. How am I challenging myself this time around? And where in the spiral am I finding myself because of that? Okay, that's number 3. So we had, first of all, I'll sing it in public when it sounds perfect. Let's focus on learning the lessons, gaining the valuable experience to help you then sing in public even more. The second was, it's not good enough yet. Let's focus on what does good enough sound and feel like. The third one was all around progress. I'm not making any progress. Is that true? Or do you find yourself on that upward spiral? And then the fourth thing that we should absolutely catch ourselves in when we're thinking this is this idea of I have to practice. I have to practice. What are you present to when you are saying that to yourself? Some might say pressure, the feeling of I have to do this. It's a task. It's like homework. If you have to do something, it might not always be very positive. What if we reframe that to I get to practice? Say that to yourself. I get to practice. What are you present to now? How is that different? Many singers might say, I get to practice, makes me feel grateful, makes me feel like this is something that I love doing. It's a joy. It's not something that you're pressured into. And I know it's just one word of difference, but it makes a huge difference in our emotional state. And that difference in our emotional state will determine how you're doing your practice session. If you're starting your practice session from the feeling of, oh, I have to do this, but I don't really want to, and I feel pressured because I told myself I would, negative emotions, negative feelings. If you go into your practice session with this idea of, I got time right now, even if it's just 15 minutes, to do what I love to do, which is singing, and I get to practice. Such a different state that you're in. And so the outcome, the result of your practice will be very, very different. So that's a small mindset shift that can make a huge difference. Same thing with I have to perform. If you tell yourself that when you're backstage, oh my God, I have to perform and it has to be good. I get to perform. I get to sing and show what I can do here. It gets to be good. Test it out for yourself in any area of your life where you replace I have to with I get to, and what that makes possible for you. So let's recap. The first one was all about I'll sing it in public when it's perfect. No, let's reframe that too. I'll sing it in public right now so that I can learn from these experiences and then sing in public even more and improve that way. Number 2 was it's not good enough yet. Let's reframe that to what is good enough? What's your definition of good enough? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Number 3 was I'm not making any progress. Is that true? Or do you find yourself on that upward spiral? Yes, maybe you notice the same themes coming back up, but are you in the same place that you were yesterday, last week, last month, 3 months ago? Number 4, I have to practice, or I have to perform, whatever it might be. I have to. Let's reframe that to I get to. And then your emotional state changes, and so your results will change as well. Can you see that singing is a holistic approach? Like the work that we've done in today's episode is so important, and we haven't even sung. So your vocal practice needs more than just vocal technique work. It needs these types of reframes as well. Singing and learning how to sing, especially learning how to sing in public without feeling self-conscious, requires a holistic approach. It's not just about your voice and your vocal technique. It's about that person behind the voice, which is you. So let's take this conversation a level deeper. And I've actually put a whole episode together that continues that conversation. And it's about the whole path to vocal freedom. Because vocal freedom is being able to sing anything you want with the confidence and in your own unique, authentic way. So my invitation to you would be to go to that episode next so that we can keep this conversation going. Click the link below. I'll put it in the description, and I'll link it here somewhere on the screen as well. So thank you so much for having been here. I'm looking forward to keep this conversation going in the next episodes all around that path to vocal freedom. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week. Bye.